Good morning, and welcome to our newest edition of United We Learn. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Kelker, president of Your United Way, and today marks the 25th episode and 1 year since we launched United We Learn. And as such, the United Way team will recap some of our favorite programs and celebrate what lies ahead. During our program, please ask questions or share your thoughts using the chat option. We will wrap up in 15 minutes, and United Way staff will stay on to address any questions. If you are watching a recorded version and have a question, please send them to feedback@uwcil.org. It's hard to believe it's been a full year. United We Learn was a concept created to maintain communication throughout the COVID-19 pandemic. So it was fitting that our first episode on June 26th shared information on how our United Ways responded to COVID-19. Our offices were closed beginning in March, with staff working remotely while alternating office hours to assist callers and people needing help. We stayed in constant communication with our service providers and made sure our information and referral line, 211, had accurate information as agencies and programs pivoted to serve their clients. Our semi-annual Day of Action was replaced by a Week of Action, offering remote volunteer opportunities and donation drives, which raised over 4,000 baby items and 1,000 pounds of food for local organizations. And in partnership with our Community Foundation for the Land of Lincoln, we launched the COVID-19 Response Fund. As reported then, the fund had raised in excess of $925,000 and distributed funding to 77 different organizations. In turn, many of these organizations helped other organizations, bringing the total number of direct service providing agencies to over 100. This United We Learn program got us started and shared the incredible story of how a community can come together to support its most vulnerable neighbors. This morning, I'm joined by Katrina, Mitch, and Jared to help share some of their favorite moments. And now, I'll turn it over to Katrina.
Thanks, John, and good morning, everyone. It has been so fun helping to create some of the sessions over the last year, and I hope you enjoyed getting to learn more about your local United Way. We know United Way is a complex organization, one that sometimes gets mistaken for just a pass-through, but we hope you have come to see how we support and create opportunities to address the basic needs, education, financial stability, and health of every person in our community, which is all made possible because of you. Because of you, we are able to make critical investments in the community, and we were joined by several of the funded partners to discuss their programs over the last year. And I hope you enjoyed learning more about the work they do and how it all comes together to create an incredible net of safety here in the greater Springfield area. However, one thing we have heard time and time again was at our discussion on July 24th about the work we do behind the scenes to strengthen local investments and programs was eye-opening. You may have heard us say getting a return on investment or setting priorities to lead to community results. But those two statements capture a ton of work that is daunting and ever evolving, much like the circle on the screen. When we began this work more than 5 years ago, our biggest finding was that every program was measuring success and change differently. And in the United We Learn episode, we demonstrated this by talking about apples and oranges. Programs use different tools, have different rates of success. They sometimes don't have access to the same data they need to improve their programs. And of course, programs take different approaches to solving the problems. And it is through partnerships, like our partnership with District 186, that we are moving closer to not only having access to important data or all the same type of fruit, but we are creating access to the same data across programs. So we can talk across programs, which can lead to better community results, i.e. having all red apples. I hope you will take the opportunity to go back and watch this episode as we highlight some of the earliest successes within our education work, like the ACES Training Collaborative. Through United We Learn, we highlighted so many local successes and partnerships, and we were so excited to also introduce you to the work happening across the state and throughout the network. And to tell you more about that, I'm going to turn it over to Mitch.
Thanks, Katrina. Now, as we discussed in the United Way 101 episode, part of the power of United Way is the network that we're plugged into. And one initiative that network champions is United for ALICE. Now, if that's a new term for you, ALICE stands for Asset Limited, Income Constrained, and Employed. And it describes those families and individuals that are working, often with multiple jobs, but still don't earn enough money for a basic survival budget. Now, through our partnership with other Illinois United Ways, we've come to see a truer picture of the need within our community. And while we enjoyed sharing the deeper details with everyone back in November, the results of our ALICE simulation in April were incredible. Those joining us for that simulation experienced the difficult decisions faced by ALICE families, and several participants of United We Learn actually shared their own personal experiences as members of an ALICE household. Now, it was clear then that United We Learn had become an opportunity to build a community, one that was coming together every other Friday to learn together and even share their experiences with one another. Now, if you wanted us to conduct an ALICE simulation for your company or group, let us know, and we'd love to share that experience with you. But Jared, do you want to share about any highlights for you?
Well, Mitch, over the course of the past year, we've been joined by leaders and volunteers from our community to discuss issues such as those surrounding ALICE families, homelessness, education, and so much more. From Josh Sabo with the Heartland Continuum of Care to representatives from the Continuum of Learning to professionals working within our issue areas, thank you each for sharing your knowledge and expertise. Now, two such professionals, Diane Rutledge and Dina Metzke, joined us for a special announcement of a $70,000 anonymous gift we received for Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. Now, this gift allowed us to eliminate the waiting list for DPIL. And as educators committed to learning, Diane and Dina shared why early childhood educations like DPIL are important to our community. For those unfamiliar with the program, Dolly Parton's Imagination Library is an early childhood literacy program providing a new age-appropriate book and family engagement activities each and every month to children under the age of 5 in Sangamon and Menard counties. There's never a charge for the program, and the program helps to encourage early reading and really bolsters family engagement. And in fact, Diane, along with another one of our volunteers, Cinda Klickna, formed the DPIL committee this year to both raise awareness and help raise funds to support Dolly Parton's Imagination Library in order to put more books in the hands of local children. Now, whether it's DPIL or ALICE or any of our programs, we can only address the needs of our community if we work together. And this means bringing together people and organizations from across our community with the expertise, drive, and passion to get the job done. On our last episode on May 28th, we were joined by Jennifer Gill and Terrence Jordan. Now, Jennifer's the superintendent of Springfield Public Schools, District 186, and Terrence is the director of school leadership and family and community engagement at Springfield Public Schools. As our 2021 campaign chairs this year, they joined John for a casual conversation to share why they're excited to be a part of this year's critically important campaign and to share small actions and ideas they have about how each of you can get involved in this year's Better Together for a Better Tomorrow United Way campaign. Now, one thing I know I felt during their presentation was that regardless of your personal situation, United Way's call to action can be lived out in a variety of ways, whether through hands-on volunteering, advocating for an issue you care deeply about, or through a donation. Each of us can make a difference in our community. And whether you give through a workplace giving campaign or you give individually, your gift is critical to United Way and all of our partners' work. It was a great conversation, and I'd strongly encourage each of you to go back and watch it, just as I would encourage you all to check out the new format that we're moving to, which I believe John's going to share with us now.
Thanks, Jared. Beginning on June 25th, our first Living United in Central Illinois podcast will be available for your listening pleasure. Yes, you heard that right. United Way of Central Illinois is continuing all the things we love about United We Learn, but converting it to a podcast format, available in both audio and video format. So search for Living United in Central Illinois on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. We will release new episodes at least once a month, which will continue to bring you information on local initiatives, local programs, interview-style sessions, and of course, continue to bring you opportunities and ideas on how you can live united. One of the ideas is to present program interviews so listeners can learn more about the program supported by United Way contributions. So as we wrap up our 25th United We Learn program, it's a pleasure to thank everyone for joining us this morning. I also want to stop and take a special thank you for all the guests who have joined us during the last year, and those viewers I saw joining us on a regular basis. So whether you caught one or two of our programs or attended them all, I hope you learned a little bit more about your local United Way and the work we're doing here in our community. Be sure to check us out by searching Living United in Central Illinois on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. That concludes today's program, and we will keep the session open for a few minutes to address any questions or ideas you have about future podcasts. Any questions or ideas we do not get to in the next few minutes will be addressed and saved on our website. Thank you. And for the last time on this platform, I hope you have a great Friday and a wonderful weekend.